Yo, so guys, what's going on? My name is Prof and welcome to the second episode of Battlefield Play for Free Versus. And today we're going to be comparing two weapons, the M95 and the M82A3 for the Recon class. Now I'm going to get into some stats right now, and whichever are in green are in advantage and the disadvantage is red. Now the only similar thing I can come up with for these two weapons are the damage and the standard scope. But other than that, the reload time is different, the ammunition is different, the rate per minute is different, and all of that is different. Now if you're going for headshots and body shots at any single range, the M95 and the M82A3 have the same amount of one-shot headshot and two-shot body shot at any single range. Now I'm going to put a reload time comparison, and you can tell that the M95 finishes with a faster reload by 0.5 seconds than the M82A3. However, the M82A3 has a special ability that is the bulletproof penetration. Now, if you take a look at the glass of both those vehicles, you can tell that the M95 leaves a spread that doesn't actually penetrate the glass. Now, I'm going to put on some gameplay examples of both the M95 and the M82A3 while I talk about both weapons and my opinions and comparing the two. But I'll let you guys know that if I'm talking about the M95, it doesn't really necessarily mean that I will have the M95 gameplay on screen right now, so it'll just be a mix of two. But yeah, now the M95 and the M82 are not unlocked at the same level, so you tend to see more M95s in the map or in the game than the M82A3, and it's completely acceptable because the unlock price for the newer weapons are kind of more of a ridiculous thing, so I completely agree, and that some people don't want to spend that much money getting a weapon. Now, one thing some people you guys have to note on is the range. Now the M95 has a range of 300 and plus meters, and the M82A3 has a range of 258 meters. That's the maximum that the bullet can travel. And if you watch my M82A3 video, that one of the first clips, you actually see me hitting the max range with this weapon. So that's something you have to take into consideration, that if you're a long-range sniper and you want to be sniping targets that are at farther distances than 260 meters, the M82 don't even bother trying because it won't happen. So the M95, you can tell in clips like this, are that weapon that is more sniper friendly, if you may want to accept that. And the rate per minute for the M95 is 20. So that means that every time you take a shot, the bullet is ready to be used faster for the M95 compared to the M82A3. And the reload time is faster for the M95. But just because I'm saying this, it doesn't mean that the M95 is completely overpowered compared to the M82A3. It also has some negative aspects, like for example the ammunition count. For the ammo, you only get 4 bullets per magazine, and that is really bad because 4 bullets you can take out a maximum of 4 people, but imagine if you miss one headshot, then that means that you can only take out 2 people, or depending on their health. And no scoping, I find that the M95 has a much better aim accuracy for no scoping compared to the M82A3. So, and also for the total ammunition you get for the M95, you only get 12 compared to the M82 where you get 15. However, one thing that you won't get with the M95 is that new special ability that they brought in for this one unique sniper rifle, which is the M82A3. And that aspect is bulletproof glass penetration. Now I spoke about this in my M82A3 video review, saying that the M82 is the only sniper rifle capable of penetrating bulletproof glass at any single range given. Now, this is useful because if you're using a long-range sniper rifle, depending on the map, be it Omen, Dalian, Dragon Valley, you for sure have some vehicles, and when you're using the Recon class, you're kind of limited to when it comes to assaulting vehicles or other means of transportation. So take into consideration that the M82A3 has that special ability that you should use while using this weapon. And so this makes the M95 more of a, in my opinion, infantry sniper rifle, and the M82A3 more of a vehicular assaulting sniper rifle. One more thing I want to say is that for the bullet drops, the M95 is something that is much more it's more maintainable and easier to get used to. I mean, it's easier to predict where the bullet will go, and just after a couple of rounds of using it, it's certain that you'll be used to it and you'll have no troubles. But with the M82A3, it has that capability of I mean, it has that aspect where it's a bit harder to predict where the bullet will go and where the bullet will drop, because it's such an awkward weapon. But if you saw me an instance ago, I actually took down the pilot of a scout helicopter without him using a big, I mean a high speed. So that's one thing also you can use if you're an Omen and you just spawn base raping the enemy team coming from the RU spawn. I mean, you can just sit down on the crane and just every pilot that comes, you can just take him out. And one thing, it's, in my opinion, more distinguished to actually find the sounds of the M95. Like, I use a headset when I play. I just use a regular headset when I play, and I find it much easier whenever I get shot by an M95 to, not by seeing the vapor trail, but by actually listening to the sound. I can tell from where it's coming. And the M82, it's not really much like that. Both weapons have the exact same standard scope, so if you like that type of scope and you don't know which one you want to get, or if you like the M95 and you're thinking of getting the M82A3 but you're scared about that scope, you shouldn't be, because it's the exact same thing, and it doesn't have an extra zoom. It's the same level, 5 level of zooming. So basically that's all I have to say. These weapons are not really identical. The only thing I would say that are actually pretty much the same thing are the damage and the overall use of this weapon. I mean, the damage, it's at close range, it's around the 80s, medium I would say 70s, 60s, and at long range it's 60s and 50s. So it's like, by 50s I mean like 57, you know, almost reaching the 60s. So that's all I have to say. And one last thing before I give my final honest opinion on which one I prefer, I just want to point out the actual size of the weapon. I mean, how much screen size it takes. Now, I won't give you percentages because I haven't done any sorts of calculations or anything, but the M82A3 has more of a it takes up more space of the screen. I mean, it can be a problem, especially like if you're running around or you're just staying still. You just want to be constantly just moving your mouse around, scanning the area just to see if you're not if your gun is not blocking an enemy's view. And for my final opinion on which one do I prefer to use myself, I like to use the M82A3. If you find that surprising, I'll tell you why you shouldn't, because I'm that type of recon that doesn't like long range sniping. I'm that type of person that I need to be in the action 100% of the time. I can't be out of it, because if I am, I get too bored. And long range sniping, I mean, I can do it like once every 2 months, but I just get too bored of it. So it's not my thing. And another thing, one issue, the reason I like the M82A3 more is because I play on low graphics, and when you exceed 200 meters, then the screen actually starts it's like kind of blinds your vision. You can't see anything, and it's just smoke. And I mean, like, when I'm using those things, I don't really utilize long range engagements and confrontations. So in my opinion, I find those useless. So why not use something else that can actually penetrate bulletproof glass? And especially that I like to record gameplay and montages and stuff like that, make montages. I like to have heli pilot kills and all that, and it's a good addition to this gun. So in my opinion, I like the M82A3 much better. But it doesn't make the M95 a bad weapon. If I were to play with high graphics, I would choose the M95. So that's all I have for this commentary and this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll always have a great day.